The primary transoceanic abort landing site for STS-55 is Banjul in the Gambia. Weather there and at the other TAL sites is forecasted to be marginal, but we remain optimistic that it will improve as the day goes on and that we will have a chance to go into one of these transoceanic abort landing sites should the need arise. This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 3 hours and holding. The 7 STS-55 astronauts now seated around their breakfast and dinner table in anticipation of this morning's launch at 10:50. Here you see Mission Specialist Charlie Precourt sitting on the end of the table. Precourt's our flight engineer on this mission. Dr. Ulrich Walter, one of 2 German payload specialists flying. There's Payload Commander Jerry Ross. And our mission commander, Steve Nagel. The pilot of this mission, Tom Hendricks, giving us a thumbs up. Hans Schlegel and Dr. Bernard Harris. This is Space Shuttle launch control at T-minus 3 hours and holding. We have just about an hour and 1 minute left in our planned build-in hold here. Looking at a long-range camera shot of Launch Pad 39A, where Columbia stands poised and ready for the STS-55 mission. The crew suit-up room is typically busy with activity on launch day. Here's our mission specialist, Dr. Bernard Harris. Dr. Harris will be making his first trip in space on the D-2 flight. And we'll be heading out to the launch pad within the next few minutes. We have just 45 seconds left in this build-in hold at the T-minus 3 hour mark. This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 2 hours, 56 minutes and counting. The 7 astronauts flying aboard Columbia today are now leaving the operation and checkout building to begin their journey out to Launch Pad 39A. This morning's walkout is occurring at 7:34 Eastern Time and at the height of the time when employees are showing up to work, so they have quite a good crowd of onlookers as they make their way out to the pad. Steve Nagel leading the way, followed by Tom Hendricks, Jerry Ross, Hans Schlegel is following Jerry, Dr. Bernard Harris, Ulrich Walter, and Charlie Precourt. The 7 STS-55 astronauts now making their way along the Saturn Causeway in the Space Center's Launch Complex 39 area. A Saturn V rocket shown in the background. This is Space Shuttle launch control at T-minus 2 hours, 39 minutes and counting. The STS-55 astronauts have arrived at Launch Pad 39A and have boarded the elevator and should be making their way to the area where they will enter Columbia. Some of the crew can now be seen on the orbiter access arm, and Commander Steve Nagel is shown inside the white room. This is Space Shuttle launch control at T-minus 1 hour, 24 minutes and counting. Operations here in the firing room continuing to go rather smoothly towards supporting an on-time liftoff at 10:50 this morning. The red crew that was dispatched out to the launch pad about 15 minutes ago is out there looking at this secondary regulator associated with the helium system of the Space Shuttle's main engines. And that work appears to be going well also. This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 20 minutes and holding. NASA Test Director Al Sofji has informed the team to pick up the count on time. T-minus 4, 3, 2, 1. We're now at T-minus 19 minutes, 58 seconds, and counting. At this point, all continuing to look very good aboard Columbia. We're at T-minus 7 minutes, 34 seconds, and counting. At T-minus 7 minutes, 30 seconds, the ground launch sequencer will initiate retraction of the orbiter crew access arm. And that is now in work. This access bridge can be positioned right back to Columbia within about 15 seconds, should the need arise.
PLT OTC, clear caution warning memory and verify no unexpected errors. Turn the fault.
The gaseous oxygen vent hood is being retracted away from the external tank. And Orbiter Test Conductor Mike Key has requested Tom Henricks to clear the ship's caution and warning memory system. That task is reported complete with no anomalies. T-minus 2 minutes, 5 seconds, and counting.
And flight crew, OTC, close and lock your visors and initiate O2 flow and have a good flight. Good work, and thank you very much. Let's go for EP, LH2 pressurization.
The astronauts have closed their flight visors on their helmets in preparation for this morning's launch. T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds, and counting.
1 minute, 30 seconds.
T-minus 20 seconds. Columbia's vent doors are being moved and configured for flight. T-minus 15, coming up on a go for main engine start. 12, 11, 10, T-minus 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Solid rocket ignition and liftoff. Liftoff of Columbia on a voyage to the future.
Roll program.
Roger, roll, Columbia.
Houston is now controlling, the roll maneuver underway and complete. Columbia is in a heads-down position, on course for a 28.5 degree flight, 160 nautical mile orbit. Engines aboard Columbia now beginning to throttle down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle in the lower regions of the atmosphere. Columbia is now just 1 nautical mile downrange from the launch site at an altitude of 17,000 feet. Accelerating now through 680 miles per hour. SRB separation is confirmed. Columbia is now 29 miles from the launch site at an altitude of 173,000 feet, traveling 3,000 miles per hour.
Columbia, performance nominal.
The orbiter will, nose will pitch up forward just a little bit to plan for the separation of the external fuel tank.
Nominal, MECO, Holmes 1 not required. Your go for the photo DTO.
Roger.
The external tank has separated from Columbia. The orbiter is safely in orbit now. Downrange from the launch site, 900 nautical miles. Crew's been given a go for the external tank DTO. That's a detailed test objective. The orbiter will conduct a maneuver to pitch around so that the crew members can photograph the external tank as it falls away from the orbiter.